Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about Terminal. Now before I open up the Terminal app and just dive in, I want to talk about Finder. On Windows applications, Finder is called Explorer.exe, and it's like the thing that pops up when you click the little folder icon. I don't have a Windows machine here to show it to you, unfortunately, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Mac users will know Finder intuitively. It comes installed with every new Mac, and it's the way you access your computer's folders and files. So right now I'm in my home directory, which is called Kevin O. Usually the home directory on Mac is just the name of the user. And if you just look at this file, I didn't clean it up for the video, so I'm sorry about that, but there's a lot of files in here, and if you just take a look, there's Apache Tomcat, this cat.gif that's just going on, and I just want everyone to remember this for a second. So now I'm going to open up Terminal. On Mac, the Terminal app for this group is called iTerm2. So I just opened up a new window in iTerm2 by clicking on the icon. And just keep an eye on both windows, the left side and the right side of the screen for a moment. So I'm just going to type some commands and explain them as I go. So on the left screen, I'll make the font size a little bigger. On the left screen, if I type ls, actually before that, if I type pwd, you can see the name of the folder that I'm in. So if you look on the right, it matches the directory name of the Finder window at the top. If I type ls, which stands for list, and then you can start to see everything that is in that folder. Now if I go up and scroll up, you can see there's the applications folder, this cat.gif folder. It's the same exact folder as the Finder window is on the right. So if you take a step back, you can kind of see that the left terminal is just a text interface for Finder. All the same things, all the same files are accessible in Terminal as they are on Finder. To illustrate that fact, if I go here and touch a new file, touch is just a command that creates new files. If I create like aaa.text on the left, you can see it appeared here on the right. And similarly, if I type rm, which stands for remove, and type the name of that file, aaa.text, and you can just hit tab to autocomplete. If I hit that, then sure enough, the file disappears on the right. So I'm just going to go through a couple of commands that everyone needs to know. Unfortunately, there's really no easy way to learn it. You just kind of have to memorize. But let's just go through them all. So I already typed pwd, which stands for print working directory. Working directory just kind of means print the folder I'm in right now. So if I type this, you can see users.kevino/kevino is the folder that I'm in right now. Next up, I typed ls, which stands for list, and that just lists all the files that are in the folder that you're in. Next up is cd, and this is one you'll use 1,000 times per day when you start using Terminal, and it stands for change directory. And I just want to make it clear that directory here stands for, it just means folder. So change directory, and then this one's different because previously we just typed pwd or just ls, but cd takes what's called an argument. An argument, you pass it into the command, and it'll change the output, or it'll do something depending on what you passed in. So for example, right now we're in the Kevin O home directory. So if I go on the right, I can see these folders that are here. So let's try to go into this applications folder. If I go here and type cd applications, and I can hit tab to autocomplete, and I hit enter, and I type pwd again for print working directory, you can see that now I'm in the applications folder. If I type ls, then I can see the contents of this folder, which it's just 2 right now for some reason, but you can see that it matches the content on the right. So just for kicks, let's just go one more layer in. If I type cd, now that I'm in this applications folder, if I wanted to go into this Chrome apps folder, I can just type cd Chrome and then hit space. So now here's a good little trick. If you need to type a space, you have to escape it with the backslash. So Chrome / space, and then apps, and then hit tab to auto-complete it again, hit enter, and now I'm in that folder. So another trick, if you type cd without any arguments at all, it'll just go back to your home directory, which is usually your username again. So if I type that, cd, and then I type pwd once more, then I'm back in my home directory. So let's just keep going through the commands. There's, I already typed the rm command, and there are certain things called flags. I think the rm command is a good introduction to flags. So let's make another folder. Making a folder is done with the mkdir, or make directory command, and I'm in my home directory and I want to just create a folder called test. So I'll just type that in. Oh, apparently that folder already exists here, so I'll just do make test2. Alright, so if I look here now, this test2 folder exists. Let's go into that folder and just create a bunch of junk files using the touch command. So I'll do a.text, touch cat.gif. This isn't going to be working files, it's just junk files. b.html and touch c.css. Alright, whatever. So I created a bunch of junk files on the right. Now let's say I'm done with this folder and I want to delete it. You might think that you could just do something like this, rm test2. But if I try that, it doesn't work, because rm is used just to delete files. So in order to delete a folder and everything inside of that folder, you need to pass in what's called a flag. In this case, the flags you would want are called r and f. So if I type rm and then I type a little hyphen dash thing and type r space dash f, then this tells this rm command that not only do I want to delete the test2 folder, I want to delete it recursively, is what this r stands for, which means I want to delete it, and I want to delete everything inside it, and I want to delete everything inside that folder, and so on and so forth until everything in that folder is obliterated and deleted. So if I go here and type this, then sure enough, this test2, in that folder. So right now I was in the test2 folder, so there's no test2 folder inside the test2 folder. So let me go back to my home directory and try it again. You can just press the up arrow to return to a previous command. And if I type it one more time, then yeah, then the test2 folder gets deleted. So let me just go back here. So we learned the ls command, the print working directory command. A convenient little trick is, say I closed Finder but I have terminal open. I can just type open and period. Period represents the name of the current folder, and if I hit enter, that just opens an actual Finder window in that folder. But next up, I can, we reviewed the cd command, the make directory command, the touch command, the removing both a file and a folder command, but none of this has really gone into why you might use terminal for web development. There are tons of examples, and as you learn more, there's going to be a lot of what's called command line apps or command line tools or npm global applications that you can use. There's tons of things that you will one day encounter, but to keep it simple for right now, I just want to focus on Git. Now Git is something you've probably heard all over the place. You probably have a GitHub account if you've been in the group, but Git is done first and foremost on the command line. So to illustrate what I mean, I'm just going to go to one of my projects. So I have this project here called, where is it? CD. Where's my project? Okay, CD Mosu. So right now I'm in the Mosu project file. This is just one of my random side projects that I decided to use for this demonstration. And if I type git here, you'll see sort of like a help screen. If you type git and often a lot of commands without anything, sometimes it'll do something like, for example, the cd command. If you type it without any arguments and without any flags, then it returns you to the home directory. But if you type git without anything, then you can't, there's no default action for that. So it'll just say, huh, you must not know how to use Git. So let me just print a helpful like manual screen for you. And on the left, you know, it's a lot, and it's just a wall of text that can get very intimidating and ugly to look at. But if you just sort of step through it piece by piece, you can see that it's relatively straightforward. So for example, if I type git and then clone, or git and a init, or git add, git mv, these will all do different things. These are all subcommands that you can kind of do as part of Git. So once again, I'm in my Mosu directory, and I'm going to try to push a new commit to Git. Right now I have a lot of things pre-configured behind the scenes, so it's not really going to make sense some of the things, but hopefully it's a good enough overview. So just try to follow along for now, and I think it'll be fine. So for right now, let me see what's in this folder. So I have, how do I do this again? All right, I forgot how to do it, but all right. So right now we have a folder called app, a folder called artisan, and a couple of other random files. Let's say I want to push this. So let's say I make a change and I want to push it to Git, which means I've done some work and it's been significant enough, an amount of work that I want to save it now. I want to save a version of the things that I've done. Then let's just simulate that by adding one file. Let's call that, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's actually change something. So I'm going to open this up in Atom, which is the text editor for the group. And Atom tends to start up really slowly, so I'm sorry about that. But all right, so I've opened up this project in the group, in the Atom text editor, and let's actually change something. So let me open up the README, and I have some stuff here, but let's say I want to increment the version to 0.2. I actually think I need to do this anyway, so that's good. So I changed this 0.1.0 to 0.2.0, and I'm going to save the file. Okay, so now if I go here, it's back to the left, and I type Git Status, it'll show me the things that have changed since I started coding. And actually I have some tasks running in the background to change these two folders, but just ignore this for now. You'll notice it says modified readme.md. So Git Status is a way to get an overview of what you've done, what things have changed. If I go to a different file, for example, and I type let's just add a space somewhere to simulate a real change, and I type Git Status again, you'll notice that package.json, which is the file I just changed by adding a space, now shows up. So I'm just going to revert this. I'll delete the space and save again, and now it's gone again. So these are the three files that if I decide to push my current work up to GitHub or wherever you have your repository stored, then these are the three files that will get saved. Changes in these files will get saved as what's called a commit. And I'm not trying to explain Git in this video. I'm just trying to explain terminal itself. So just hold on for a minute, even though it might be a little weird at first. So let's just keep on going. So the way Git works, it's not as simple as Dropbox or Google Drive. You can't really just save it and push it. It doesn't work like that. It gives you more control, so it might seem like, why am I even doing this when I just want to push everything? But it does give you more control over what gets pushed and how it gets pushed and stuff like that. So for right now, just ignore what I'm doing, except for the command itself. So here I have Git, which is the name of the command line tool Git. I have this add, which tells me I want to do something related to Git, and that something is I want to add something. Now this third command is a flag -A, which is now a flag for the add command, and it's telling the add command that I want to add all. A stands for all. So if I type this and type Git Status once again, and then now you can see, well actually I had already done that before, I think, starting this video, but now you can see that changes to be committed includes these three files. So when you push something to Git, you have to add what's called the commit message. So I'll just do that right now. Git commit, and then M is the flag standing for message, I believe. And then now I can just type in my actual message in quotes. Whatever I type here will quote unquote tag the commit, and it will explain what I've done in this commit or in this snapshot of the code. So let's just say I updated the readme. That's it, whatever. And hit enter. If I type git status one more time, then the message changes now, and it says your branch is ahead of the remote branch by 1 commit. This just means that the stuff you did on your local computer is ahead of what I have on GitHub. So if you want to update what's on GitHub, you now have to push. It's saying use git push to publish your local commits. So let's just go ahead and do that, git push, and you'll see a bunch of stuff filling your screen. The important part is kind of here. It just tells you writing objects, which is just sort of another way of saying, all right, I'm uploading your stuff, and now you can see the repository git URL or whatever they're called, and now it told you that your remote git has been updated. So if I go to Chrome now and check the GitHub project for this, if I go here now and check the master branch, you can see that I updated the README, which is the commit message I had, was recently updated a minute ago. And so if I go into my commit history and just look at the latest, here it is. I can actually go further and click this text to see exactly what changed. And if you look here, here's readme.md and the incremented change that I did. So hopefully this illustrates kind of from a distant point of view what the command line is useful for. There are GUI tools, which GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. There are GUI tools to do the same thing. There are Git GUI tools and a bunch of other things, but command line is a lot faster. It's a lot more flexible. You don't have to hunt around for buttons on some interface, and it's more lightweight. There's a lot of benefits to using something like Terminal. So hopefully that's a useful overview of what Terminal can do and some of the basic commands. If you ever have a question, just feel free to post it in the developers group channel as usual. And just before we go, here's a quick goodie. So right now I was using this basic terminal, but actually this is not my usual configuration. If I type ls, for example, everything's just the same color, and if you start typing a lot of things, it just becomes this ugly wall of text, right? And it's just hideous, and you can't really tell what is where. So now to get rid of that problem, iTerm allows you to do a lot more. It allows you to customize things and make things prettier. So if I do ls here, I have a theme going where the blue text is folders, the white text are files, and it's just a little cleaner. If I type git status, oh, right, I have to go to my project. If I type git status or git log, then there's little colors and things to make it prettier and to see what's actually going on. This, I guess, was a particularly large commit, and you can see everything I did as part of that commit. And there's a lot. To just illustrate, there's this thing called TIG, which lets you review your Git history. There's fun stuff like SL, which stands for Steam Locomotive, and it's just this cute ASCII animation that flies across your screen. And I can't get out of it. Okay, yeah, there's Tetris, for example. Right, it's a fun little world all of its own, and as you sort of dive deeper and deeper, you can see all the little benefits that this has. You can do things like connecting to remote servers, so I can do this right now. This won't work for you because this only works because I've configured a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but now I'm in a server. I'm not in my local computer anymore. You can actually use Terminal as an editor, so if you know the editor Vim and you type it in, bam, this is now a text editor, right? I can just type whatever I would normally need to type in Sublime Text or Atom, you can actually use terminal Vim instead. And yeah, it's this whole new world all of its own. So before I go any further, I'll just end it here. So hopefully that was a good overview. If you have any more questions, please just post it in the Slack as per usual. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.